Alright guys, welcome back to the channel. This week is kind of loaded with updates and new drops. We've got a lot of DLC news for Assassin's Creed Mirage, Starfield, Battlefield 4, and Dune Awakening. And even Indiana Jones and the Great Circle. And on top of that, the Game Pass is actually blessing us. Hollow Knight Silksong is dropping day 1 this week, along with some new horror games. So yeah, we got a lot to talk about, let's get into it. Alright, so first up we got Assassin's Creed Mirage. Ubisoft just confirmed a free story DLC coming later this year, and it's set in Alula, Saudi Arabia. A real historical location with these massive sandstones, canyons, and tombs. The expansion adds a whole new chapter for Basim, with fresh contracts, parkour routes, and a deeper look into the Hidden One's history. What makes this cool is that Mirage was actually already praised for going back to the old school Assassin's Creed style, smaller, focused, stealth heavy. Adding a new region that's visually different from Baghdad gives it some variety, and free is free. Ubisoft doesn't usually drop expansions at no cost, so this is actually a huge W. If you already finished Mirage, this might be an excuse to dive back in. Next up, Bethesda is working on Starfield's second major DLC, which is supposed to expand more of the United Colonies versus Freestar Collective conflict, and dig deeper into some alien mysteries teased in the main game. They haven't given a name yet, but it's given more of a political vibe mixed with new tech to uncover. But what's really exciting are the free updates rolling out alongside with it. Bethesda knows one of the biggest complaints about Starfield was the space travel. It felt like glorified menus and loading screens. They're even promising smoother transitions when traveling, more random encounters like pirate ambushes or even customizable space stations. If they actually deliver on that, space might actually feel alive instead of empty. Right now, Starfield's a good game, but just feel like it's missing a little something. Like maybe these changes could make it, feel a little bit more alive and actually want to space travel. Here's a game we all know and love, Borderlands 4. So Gearbox has also added a couple things to the game. They added a full post-launch roadmap, and it's looking crazy. Like starting later this year, we're getting free seasonal content, rotating vendors that bring in special loot, weekly challenges to keep farming fresh, and return of some invincible bosses. If you remember Borderlands 2, you know these bosses are no joke, so farming is back on the menu. Then, in early 2026, we're getting the first big premium expansion called Mad Ellie and the Vault of Demand. It's a story-driven DLC introducing a new wasteland zone, new missions, and a new vault to raid. Gearbox is treating it like how Destiny does expansions, so expect a big chunk of content. On top of that, we're also getting smaller bounty packs, paid add-ons that come with new missions, side bosses, and vault cards to unlock cosmetics and gear. If you're the kind of player who likes to grind loot endlessly, Borderlands 4 is setting itself up to keep you hooked well past launch. Alright, now we have Dune Awakening. After being pretty quiet for months, Funcom finally dropped the 10-month roadmap, and it kicks off this month. First, we're getting Chapter 2 of the main story campaign, which adds quests focused on rival freeman tribes and politics of spice control. Alongside that, they're dropping the Lost Harvest DLC. This adds new survival gear, extra building pieces for bases, and new crafting tied to spice harvesting. Looking ahead, they also got the Raiders of Broken Lands coming in early 2026, which is a cosmetic pack, and then the Water Wars later in 2026. That one actually sounds interesting because it introduces a new survival mechanic where water scarcity becomes a major factor in how you manage resources. This is exactly what Dune needed. The world is rich, but people are losing patience because the updates were so quiet. Now, with clear plans, it feels like the game actually might be building a steady community. This was a little actually shorter on news, but we got Indiana Jones and the Great Circle. The first DLC, Order of Giants, dropped September 4th, and it's set in Rome. You'll be exploring underground catacombs, solving environmental puzzles, and going against a new villain faction as part of the secret Warman cult. It looks like classic indie. History, mystery, and plenty of reasons to crack the whip. If you like the base game, this adds more of what you want. It's not a huge expansion, but it's a solid way to keep players engaged while we wait to see what Machine Games does next. Last but not least, we have Game Pass. Now, I actually appreciate Game Pass for the people who just can't afford games, and games are expensive nowadays. You can easily get Game Pass. You got access to over 100 games you can play on PC and Xbox. Honestly, that was one of the greatest things Xbox ever did for the community, and I really appreciate it. But talk about games that's launching on Game Pass. On September 4th, Hollow Knight Silksong finally launches. Day 1 on Game Pass. This is a long-awaited sequel where you play as Hornet, exploring Farloom with brand new acrobatic movement, faster combat, and over 150 enemies. The hype has been unreal. People legit thought this game didn't exist, and now you can hop on Game Pass and play it for free if you're sub. Then on September 5th, you got Chronos, the New Dawn. It's a horror survival shooter from Blooper Team, the studio behind The Medium and Layers of Fear. It's mixing space exploration with psychological horror, so expect creepy corridors, tension, and jump scares. And later in the month, September 17th, you got Deep Rock Galactic Survivor. That's basically a vampire survivor game with dwarfs in space, mining, shooting, endless waves on enemies, chaotic fun. But the two big ones to focus on this week are definitely Silksong and Chronos. So yeah, this month's pretty stacked. You got Assassin's Creed taking us to Saudi Arabia, Starfield is trying to fix space travel and expanding story, Borderlands 4 lined up with content for years, Dune Awakening actually has a plan now, Indies exploring Rome, and Game Pass casually dropping Silksong and new horror game in the same week. September's looking busy, it's only just starting. But what about you guys? What's the move this week? Are you diving into Silksong day one? Are you waiting for Starfield's next DLC? Drop your thoughts in the comments, hit like if you enjoyed the video, subscribe if you're new, and I'll catch you next video. It's your boy Memories, I'm out. Peace.